All right, so at this point, you've found or created all of the citations that you've needed for this works cited page. So now all you have to do is format the page correctly using MLA. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove any of these additional spaces. And just to make things easier on the eyes, I'm going to make this all Times New Roman, font size 12, just as we did for the front page of our papers. And if there's any of these hyperlinks left, I'm just going to right-click and remove them. So now everything looks nice and neat and clean. The next thing that I'm going to do is highlight the entire page, and I'm going to double space the links, again, just as we did with our front page. And now I'm just going to, for a second, bold these names so that it's easier to see where these citations start and end. So you can see that some of these citations have 2 lines, and some even go on to a 3rd line. The reason that I've bolded these names is just to make it easier for us to see. These are the last names of our authors, and then the comma separates it from the first names. We're going to put these citations in alphabetical order by the author's last name. Now, if you're missing an author's name, for example, if this name wasn't here, if it was just Civil War Medicine, then I would go by the article title. But luckily we have authors for all of these. So I'm going to start with C, Campbell. Alphabetically, this should be first. Then Hassler. Then McPherson. Then Sedgwick. And then Woodworth. So now they're in alphabetical order. I can actually unbold these now. All right. I'm just going to save this periodically. So now it's a little bit difficult to tell where these citations start and end. So in MLA format, to make sure that it's clear where the citations begin and end, we use these things called hanging indents. And what it is the second and third lines of these citations will be indented. And I'll show you what that looks like. So this is what a full citation should look like. Now normally with MLA format, when we're typing our papers, we're going to indent the first lines, but that's not the way that you format the works cited page. You have these hanging indents for any subsequent lines. So when you hit the tab key, you may notice that the citation does something like this, and it tabs the entire citation. We don't want that. So what I would recommend that you do is just backspace. And on the subsequent lines of these citations, you're going to help the computer recognize that this is a separate line. So you're going to hit Shift-Enter, Spacebar, and Tab key. And now if it's on a 3rd line, you're going to do the same thing. Shift-Enter, Spacebar, Tab key. Now this is starting to look like my works cited page. So here's my first citation, here's my second citation, here's my third citation, here's the second line, Shift Enter Space Tab. Here's my 4th citation, Shift Enter Space Tab. You want to hit Shift and Enter at the same time. If you do it too many times, you'll double space like this, and if that's the case, you can just backspace. And this is exactly what it should look like. These go on to 2 additional lines. This just goes on to 1. That's okay. Now the last thing that I need to do is just at the top of this page, I'm going to title it by centering my cursor and writing the words works cited, capital W, capital C, and make sure there's that S in there. Don't bold or title this headline. You're just going to leave it works cited, Times New Roman, font size 12. That's it. So the last thing I'm going to do is click save one more time. I'm going to print this out and I'm going to staple it to the end of my research paper.